Najarian. Welcome to 3 at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. I break down for you the unusual moves in the option market. Where are institutions placing their bets? This is today's 3 at 3 for the 14th of January 2021. I always have to read the disclaimer. I'll make it fast though. This service is provided for information and educational purposes only. Full stop. All investments involve risk. Intellectual property rights. Also, we have patents, trademarks, registered marks for just about everything you're about to see. Copyrights as well. So please, before you use anything that I'm about to present, please ask us and then cite marketrebellion.com as the source of the information. With that, let's get the presentation started. Unusual option activity. Well, this one, yesterday I talked about space, the final frontier. That's right, because 2 days ago, we talked about it when it was a $26 stock. They were buying the 29th of January 32 calls, and they were buying them in big numbers, way more than that 4,700, but that was just the appetizer, apparently. They bought more, and then yesterday, after the bell, bang! My friend Kathy Wood, and no, she did not give me a heads up on this, but Kathy Wood's ARK Invest plans ARKX space exploration ETF to tap into the growing industry. Why not, Kathy? You're killing it. And I'm so proud of you, so happy for you. You've done such a great job building your brand and providing a great vehicle for investors. So that's Virgin Galactic. Yeah, baby. So Kath is investing in that. And as you might imagine, that has caused the stock to zoom to the upside. Virgin Galactic, as of 2 hours ago, was 31.76. It's back over 32 again now. But as you see, it traded to 33.50. Keep in mind, when we talked about it just 2 days ago, it was trading for $25.94, if memory serves. So that, my friends, is a dog that will hunt. That works. And thank you, Kathy. Thank you, ARK Investment X. And this was a fabulous run. Does it mean I've put it all away? No. I took all of that trade off, however, because as you might recall, I was closer to the money. And now I'm at the money with these 32s and short higher strikes against it. 1-to-1. Bang. How about this one? Pete, yesterday on the halftime report, talked about Freeport-McMoRan. I talked about it yesterday saying, wow, he's done pretty well in this. It already went through 31 and change yesterday. How's it doing today? Well, miss a little, miss a lot, folks. It's up another 5% today. Trading through 32, and there you see a 5-day graph of it as whoop to the upside, Freeport-McMoRan FCX. Wow, 30% just in the last month or so, folks. An amazing performance. But the options, a lot more than 30%, as you might imagine, several 100%. That's why you trade options, my friends. All right. You want to learn how to trade options effectively? Go to marketrebellion.com. Don't be afraid. Remember, you can do this remotely. You can learn whether it's technical analysis from AJ Monty and Bill Johnson, whether it's how to set yourself up with call spreads, put spreads, time spreads, whether it's an iron condor, an iron butterfly, you name it. There's lots of different names. They might sound complicated. They're not. And our guys and gals can break it down for you into just little baby bites so that you get and learn at your pace, because you can do distance learning. That is, we give you a password, you log on to the website, you can go over it as many times as you want. Make sure you know what you think you know before you invest. You will be a smarter investor, and I think that's the way all of us should go about investing. Know it before you trade it. Go to marketrebellion.com. get started for more. All right, so now let's do today's 3 at 3, starting with Intel, because I had several that I was going to do, but because of time, as you saw and heard perhaps when I was on the halftime today, we barely got in half the show before the Fed chairman, Jay Powell, was speaking at Princeton University, a school that he attended, of course. And that's the reason that I only was able to get one very quick, and that was Intel. They were buying Jan 60 calls. Now, we've seen them buying calls when the stock was 42. They put out some bullish commentary and moved into the 50s. And then they got rid of the CEO, brought in a new CEO that they'd obtained when they did a deal with VMware, and that really spiked the stock. So we see people buying these January 60 calls. You see the big volume there on the screen next to me. Here is a zoomed in version. They bought more than 22,000 of those calls. As you can see, 58,000 of this week expiration calls at the 61 and 60 strike. But it was way more than the 8,000 that I was talking about when I was on air. As you see, moved up through 22,000 contracts. Bang! If you'd like to check out a little cryptocurrency, you know it's one of the hot investments already this year. 2021, this is already one of the most popular investment vehicles, and that is not just Bitcoin, but digital assets in general. Pete and I own a part of Voyager. Voyager is a publicly traded company up in Canada. They also have over-the-counter arm in the United States. They also have a token or a coin, the VGX token. Now, it turns out that if you open an account at Voyager, you could earn up to 9.5% on your Bitcoin. You could trade over 50 digital assets on their platform. It's crypto made simple. They've made it as easy as they possibly could. It's right there on your cell phone. Make sure you check it out, Voyager, and make sure you check out that money that you could earn on your Bitcoin. So it's not just $34,000 or $38,000. It's how much interest you could earn on that as well. Bang. AAL, this is American Airlines, one of my favorites. It is the airline I love to fly. American Airlines stock at $16.29. They started coming in buying August 22 calls. You guys know, if you're a regular viewer, that I didn't buy those calls. I bought something much closer to the money. Hopefully, those of you who have been following would understand that, yeah, something more like the 16 calls, that's more what I'd be about, and I'd sell a higher strike. And you know what I'd do? Since they spent $1.68 for these, I'd limit myself to spending about $1.68 for owning the 16s and selling a higher strike and collecting credit for what I'm selling. And hopefully the net between the credit and the debit would be around $1.70. That's the way I like to trade. So American Airlines, 8,000 of those trade. There's the stock moving up by another 20 cents to about $16.50. Bang. Third of our 3 at 3 is Lumen. Take a look at this one. Stock's trading just under $11. And they're buying the March 1250 calls. That is still an out-of-the-money call. Nothing wrong with trading an out-of-the-money call. If you want to take a shot on a 30-cent option or something like that, I'm not going to blame you. I might even have a few of those myself. But the way I like to trade when I'm trading and investing is I want to move the odds into my favor as much as possible. For that reason, I'm going to show you not only that the stock has moved up, since we were noting that for our subscribers, that they were buying, and the stock was right around $11, so it's moved up by 42 cents or so. But here's the way I would trade it. Owning those March 10 calls, which is an in-the-money call now, with the stock at $11.42, they're worth $1.42 intrinsically. That means it's in the money by $1.42. So why are you only having to pay $1.65? I don't know, but you can. These are taken right from the Yahoo site. You were able to pay $1.65 and collect 42 cents for selling those 1250 calls. So if you did that 1-to-1, you have no upside exposure. You've put roughly $1.23 on the table, right? Because the net between 165 and the 42 you collect, $1.23, you could double your money because that spread could go to 250. How do I know? Because you have the right to take it at 10. You've given somebody else the right to take it from you at 1250. The differential is $2.50. You paid less than half of that to get in because you paid $1.23, which is less than half. Half would be $1.25. You paid $1.23 to get in. If it's $12.50 or higher, you doubled your money. That's moving the odds into your favor, folks. That's what I like to do each and every day. Now let's get to your questions. Questions at Jon Najarian, that's Jon Najarian, or at 3@3_UOA for those of you listening on satellite radio. Let's do Zynga. Brad Gilbert said, you know what? And Brad, love you. Enjoyed a nice dinner and some cocktails with Brad in San Francisco a couple of years ago. Brad writes to me and says, and his handle, by the way, is BG Tennis Nation. Brad is, of course, a commentator about tennis and a brilliant coach as well. Brad wrote to me and said, at Jon Najarian, heard you the other day about Zynga. So I bought 10 calls for next Friday. Up yesterday and today, almost $10 and no movement in the options. Why? Well, I think they were buying that 10-strike call. So hopefully Brad and everybody else, I think they were roughly 950, if memory serves, when we did that for unusual activity. I think from here on, Brad, you're going to be happy with that trade, but I always would exercise discipline for those calls, especially as we get close to expiration. So thank you for writing in, Brad. Miss you, my brother. I hope I see you soon out in Cali or at a tennis match somewhere around the U.S. Teva, SWN. So Jeff Monty, whose handle on Twitter is at NYCMONTE, he writes, hi, John. How do you like Teva Feb 19s and how do you feel about Southwest SWN Feb 3.5s? Love them both. Teva, I still think we might have a deal brewing for Teva. We've heard a lot of rumors about that. We'll see if it plays out, but that's why I'm in the options and not in the stock. Southwest SWN Feb 3.5s, yeah, with energy back in focus. You heard us perhaps talk today about Chevron and Exxon, both of them getting some positive comments. I think that trickles down to an energy company like Southwest. So yes, I like both of these plays. Thank you. Exalta, or Coatings. Thoughts on Exalta since the call earlier this week? Still like it. Always be aware about your discipline. Take profits when you got them. Cut your losses when you have to. That's what I try to do each and every day. Thank you, John. John's handle is at JOHN Tanks 2. And thank you, folks, for tuning in. AMD, I think this is going to wind it up for us. What's going on with AMD after the recent presentation? AMD's a fabulous play. Love it. What Intel has screwed up on and what has brought the new CEO into Intel is what AMD has feasted on, and that is data centers, among other things. So I love AMD. Still think their recent presentation is a reason to be in the stock. If you'd like to learn more about what we're talking about, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That is marketrebellion.com/UOA, which stands for Unusual Option Activity. Thank you for joining me today, folks. I hope you're good wherever you are, and I hope you liked both the halftime report today and my presentation just now. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll wind up the week